Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Now in this video, we are going to be doing our update on the yield farming portfolio, so the concentrated liquidity portfolio. So let's start off with the market. We are currently pretty sideways. I guess Bitcoin is up in the past 24 hours. ETH is back over $1,000. We did dip below for a couple of days over the weekend, but we are back over 2K now. And yeah, so the market's pretty choppy, right? So let's jump in and see how our positions are looking. So the current value is $8,500, pretty much. The APR is slightly down right now, earning around $11 a day, and we have $80 in unclaimed rewards. So I am going to start claiming these. So if we go over to harvest and then select USDC, because I am harvesting into USDC, and then we're just going to click harvest on here. VFAT charges a very measly 0.9% fee to manually harvest your rewards. I think if you do it in the native tokens, there isn't any fee, but if you want to claim in sort of any other token, like you can claim in pretty much anything. If it's on the network, you can basically claim on it. Then yeah, you can do that, which is pretty cool. So let's go ahead and start claiming these fees, but we earned around $80 this week. And you can see all of my positions are in range. That is the power of sort of wide ranges, is that we're in range for a lot longer. So that is the benefit of doing that. Okay, it looks like these are going to fail. Looks like the estimates are off. I think when I do claim these most weeks, the estimates are off on VFAT, and I think it's because of the additional rewards that these positions are currently incentivized with Wrapped Monad. But let's go ahead and try one more. Is this going to fail? Let's see here. This is going to withdraw around $40. I don't know if that's correct. So yeah, the contract will failed while during simulation. So we'll leave this. I'll claim these. If I'd retry it a couple of times, it worked. So no issues really there. But one thing that I did want to show you. So we earned around $80 this week. That is the weekly earnings. But one thing I did want to show you is, obviously, we currently have our rewards on Aave lending at 2.5%. Now, if we go over to Morpho here, I did a $50 test deposit into a vault on Base, which is the Stakehouse Prime USDC vault, which is currently getting around 4% APY, sorry. So I did a little $50 test on this just to see it, and you can see your earned interest stacking up over here. And you can go ahead and sort of claim these whenever you like, sort of thing. Now, there is around $500 million in here and around $114 million of collateral. So to find this, just go on to Morpho, and if you select Base, you can pretty much see it as the top one here. There's again $550 million of deposits. Now there are a bunch of other sort of positions in here that you can use your stablecoins for to generate an APY. I know there are other places you can obviously generate a much higher, like if you go into Vault. I did a video on a Vault a couple of weeks ago, which is currently generating 20%. But I like it liquid, just staked on a dashboard such as this. I can come in here, I can see how much there's in, I can see how much interest we've earned, and yeah, I can basically see everything. So that's why I kind of like this kind of dashboard a bit more. Just because obviously there's it's just a lot cleaner, right? And I can come into here, deposit, withdraw whenever I like. So I'm going to move this $308 plus this extra $80 of rewards that we had this week onto Morpho, so that we can earn around 4% APY on this just by staking it. Pretty easy. I know there are better opportunities, like you can go onto a centralized exchange right now and probably earn 5 to 7% depending on the exchange. But decentralized, obviously, it's not going to be that high. I'm happy with 4%. That's pretty good just on rewards here, considering we're at 2.5% on Aave right now. If I move it to Morpho, almost doubling it. So that is pretty much the update for the week. We are in range. APR is currently down slightly, but we are in range on all of my positions, and I am happy with this. I have been looking at a Ethereum to Bitcoin position. Now, obviously, there is some with crazy TVLs, but as you know, I like wide ranges. So if I was going to do a 50% range on these, again, we're going to be getting around 3%. So it's not really worth it at that stage, right? Something like this, again, if we were going to do, let's say, even a 20% range here, again, like it's just not really worth it. 30%, same sort of thing. You know, you're getting tiny returns. So this really isn't really worth it at the moment. And the only reason I was looking at jumping into one of these is because I am happy holding Bitcoin or Ethereum, depending on what the market does, right? I hold these two assets anyway for the long term and have been for years. So if I can farm with them and earn a decent APR, but still be in range for a while, but if it does go out of range, then at least I'm holding either Bitcoin or ETH, but the APRs just aren't really worth it with the ranges that I want to do. So I'm not going to do that. So let me go ahead. I'm going to pause the video, and hopefully within the next 10 minutes or so, I can actually claim these and VFAT sort of sorts itself out so I can harvest these rewards. And then I will replay the video and we'll chuck everything over on Morpho. Okay, so I actually went ahead and just claimed everything in the Monad tokens. And then what I did was I just went over to Uniswap and traded and swapped the Monad for USDC. So we now have that $80. So it was actually pretty simple in the end. I just had to stop claiming in USDC. I guess it was a slippage issue or something, and just went and manually swapped it. So we now have our $80 here in the wallet. And let's go ahead and add it to our Morpho dashboard. All right, so I've gone ahead and bridged that over. We have 387, which also includes our Aave supplies. And I am going to go ahead and stick this onto Morpho. So let's go ahead and hit deposit here, and we're going to hit confirm. So our deposit's going to go from 50 to 437, and that's going to get us a 4% APY here. So let's go ahead and confirm that. I know it's nothing, but this is just building habits, okay? Remember, I'm still in sort of the testing phase with around $9,000 that I am testing this so that when I do that big deposit, I'm sort of waiting to see what the market's looking like so that we can borrow against my Bitcoin and go and sort of deposit using our sort of lent assets, right? So we're going to lend assets, borrow against it, and then stake into some more VFAT positions. And then we can use that to the rewards to either increase our collateral, make yield on it through something like Morpho, and really just keep stacking things up. So there we go, $450 pretty much, earning us around 4% per year over on Morpho. And that, again, this is in the Stakehouse Prime USDC position, the vault, sorry, and it's earning around 4% a year. Okay, pretty nice. So again, nothing on $400. I'm not expecting this to do anything, but again, it is building habits. So yeah, $400 in reward so far from this portfolio, which means we are pretty much break even with the market doing crazy stuff, which is good. I think we're either break even or pretty much just in profit. So that is good. That means that we are continuing to just stack. I barely look at this portfolio, and this is the good thing about having sort of wide ranges, is that I barely look at this. Okay, I barely look at the portfolio. I check on it every couple of days just to see what the APR is doing. But other than that, yeah, I really don't check it too much because there's no need to. You know, it's just, it stacks me $12, $13 every single day without fail. Because we have wide ranges, so I'm not having to constantly rebalance or be out of range. So it's a nice earner, right? It just continually stacks, and it's real yield, guys. We are basically providing the liquidity to traders, and we're getting paid for it. So this is why I like yield farming. Wide ranges, you don't have to check on it so often. You can take the rewards and do whatever the hell you want with it. I just staked it on Morpho just to test again, just to build those habits. But you could do whatever you want with this. I could go ahead and load that $400 that I have in rewards on a, on a crypto card or cash it out into my bank account and go on a nice dinner. right? A nice couple of dinners or something. So, or I could go and pay a electricity bill or something, So this is why DeFi is so powerful, because one, you can earn rewards decentralized, okay, by supplying liquidity to the decentralized market, and then you can take those, and the rewards are still decentralized. I can move this to literally anywhere. I could open up a new position with this $400 and earn more rewards if I wanted to do that. So there's unlimited amounts of options you have. Unlimited amount of options, and that is why I love DeFi so much. So yep, we are gonna continue. I do have 10K ready in USDC on the side in another wallet, ready to go into this portfolio. Again, I'm just waiting to see what the market does, and that will essentially boost our rewards up to around between $22 and $25 a day. So that'll be making us around $800 a month, with this average APR being around 55% or something like that. So that'd be nice. But yep, that is going to be it for the video. If you have enjoyed, make sure you smash a like. Let me know what positions you're in down below. And also, if you've made it this far, I am going to release a free Discord server just for yield farming. I do have another free Discord server, which I think is in the link of pretty much all of my videos that I've ever uploaded. But over the years, it's just become completely stagnant, and yeah, there's a lot of people in there, but no one really uses it. So I'm thinking of starting a new one just for yield farming specifically. So if that is something that is of interest, let me know in the comments just by commenting the word Discord or yield farming Discord or something like that, and I will send a link depending on if it's of interest to anyone. But with that being said, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.